mason jar test is a good method to determine the portion of sand, silt, and clay your soil is composed of, and to determine the texture of your soil. The materials you will need are a 1-pint mason jar, water, Calgon water softener, a half teaspoon, a bowl with a mixing tool, and of course, your soil sample. The next step is to make sure your sample is finely crushed and mixed so that there are not any large clumps in your sample. Once this step is complete, proceed to fill your mason jar halfway with your sample. Then fill the rest of your mason jar with water. Add a half teaspoon of Calgon to your sample. We used a 1/4 teaspoon, which is why we added 2 spoonsful of Calgon. Seal your jar with the lid. Shake and invert the jar for a period of 5 minutes. This will hydrate the soil and ensure the water has reached every inch of the soil. When the 5 minutes is complete, leave your mason jar to sit undisturbed for 24 hours. Now that your sample has sat undisturbed for 24 hours, measure the amount of soil that has settled in the mason jar. Remember to use the centimeter side of your ruler because this will make it easier to convert your recordings to millimeters later. Once you have this measurement, shake and invert the mason jar for another 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, let the jar sit undisturbed for 40 seconds to let the sand settle. Once the 40 seconds is up, measure in centimeters how much sand is present in your mason jar. Record your results. Continue to leave your jar undisturbed for 6 hours. Once the jar has been left undisturbed for 6 hours, measure how much silt has settled in your mason jar. Measure from where the sand and silt meets to the top of the silt layer. Remember, take the measurements in centimeters. After you have converted your results into millimeters, determine what percent of your sample is sand, silt, and clay. You can determine the percentages by the formulas shown here. When you've determined the percentage of sand, silt, and clay in your sample, you can refer to the soil texture triangle to discover what your soil sample is classified as. Our sample turned out to be a sandy loam. If you are unsure if you have an accurate result, you can always look up the Web Soil Survey for your location on the NRCS website.